Well, a very, very good morning to you. I hope I find you well. Wrexham versus Middlesbrough coming up this weekend, but I'm going to do this one with a little bit of a difference. I'll explain a little bit more after this. Welcome back to Weird Guard Wrexham. I'm Steve Jones. Well, we're all fully aware that Wrexham play Middlesbrough on Saturday in the final game of the regular season in the EFL Championship with a whole load to play for. But I'll touch more on that on Friday. Friday, I hear you ask? Yes, this is going to be one of three. The fact we've only played Middlesbrough 4 times before Saturday, and 2 of those are quite significant games in Wrexham Football Club's history, I've decided to do this as a trilogy. So I'm covering the first FA Cup win in this one. There's another one, 99-2000, I'll cover that one tomorrow. And then I'll go over Saturday's game on Friday in the video's normal format. So, the first game we played against Middlesbrough, as an aside, was 72-3 season. We went up to Ayresome Park to play them in the second round of the Football League Cup. Unfortunately, we lost that one 2-0. David Mills scoring twice for Borough on that occasion. But then the draw was made for the FA Cup 4th round. We'd got into the 4th round having beaten Crystal Palace away 2-0 in the 3rd round. That was a 2-0 win at Selhurst Park. Mel Sutton and Dave Smallman, I think, scored on that occasion. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So the 24th of Jan 1974, Middlesbrough come down to the racecourse, 4th round of the FA Cup, on a pretty good run of form, top of the 2nd division. Wrexham were 5th in the 3rd. 20,612 were on the racecourse for that day, for the strangely timed 2 p.m. kickoff. I don't recall being there for that one, so I don't really know why, and I can't really find out. But as was the way then, both sides went out with the best 11. And when I go through Middlesbrough's side in a minute, you'll see exactly what I mean. The Wrexham side lined up with Brian Lloyd, Joey Jones, Dave Fogg, Mickey Evans, Eddie May, Graham Whittle, Brian Tinian, Mel Sutton, Jeff Davis, Dave Smallman, Alvin Griffiths with Mickey Thomas on the bench, managed by John Neal, more of which in a minute. And Middlesbrough, Jim Platt, John Scraggs, Frank Spraggan, Graham Souness, Stuart Bohm, Willie Madden, Bobby Murdoch, David Mills, John Hickton, Alan Foggan, David Armstrong, Malcolm Smith on the bench. Of course, Borough at the time managed by England World Cup winning centre-half Jack Charlton. Of course, it's immediate connection between Wrexham and Middlesbrough. John Neal, Wrexham manager, having missed out on promotion before we went to the 2nd Division 77-78, decided to go home to his native northeast to manage Borough, taking Billy Ashcroft with him. But that's a tale for another day. When I started having me little bit of a dig on this one, there's a couple of humorous facts really, and how times have changed. Your match ticket for this game, photo to follow in a second, 50 pence. And the programme cost, again, photo to follow in a second, 10 pence. How times change. I can't find a report, so I don't know how the game ebbed and flowed, but the important detail is that Dave Smallman scored the winning goal in the 38th minute. Now, there's a lot of critics and a lot of pundits and so-called sports writers say, well, you get after the Lord Mayor's show syndrome, which means after a big cup win, you get a bit of a kick in the pants. We had one after Arsenal. But Wrexham went on to register some good results after beating Middlesbrough. 1-0 wins against Bristol Rovers first, then York, and solid 0-0 against Tranmere. On the other hand, The following Saturday, after being knocked out of the cup by little old Wrexham, Middlesbrough went to the City Ground to play Forest and got battered 5-1 in what Jack Charlton was quoted as saying, "Not my best fortnight." It didn't matter. Middlesbrough won that league by an absolute country mile that year. And our reward for knocking Middlesbrough out was a trip to Southampton. And we did it again. Dave Smallman coming up with the goods at the Dell, then it would be. Giant killing Wrexham at it again. So 6th round then prevails, and we ended up going north to Burnley, up to Turf Moor. If you're of a certain age like me and older or maybe slightly younger, you'll remember this one. The then Burnley chairman, I think his name was Bob Lord, who was a big noise on the FA, might have even been the FA chairman, whatever. He banned all recordings, and there's no film to go on the networks of this game. I think he didn't want to see his team getting beat. There is one little snippet, I think it's on YouTube, that somebody snuck the old cine camera in, some very grainy and very jumpy images of the Wrexham game. We lost it 1-0, but we gave Burnley as good as we got. So that was how that one finished, and that puts that one into history. There's only one player that's played for both in this era, and that is the previously mentioned Billy Ashcroft. He says, rushing to put his notes down, pick his notes up after he threw them down. Billy played 273 games for Wrexham, scoring over 95 goals. That was between 69 and 77. He was a brilliant player for us, Billy. Went up to Middlesbrough, and I think he went to Belgium. Is it Belgium? I think it was Belgium. Anyway, he went abroad, FC Twente, I think it's Belgium. Had a good career, and I think he still does the occasional matches, still looking well. And that brings to an end the first one. I'll be back tomorrow to cover 99 to 2000 season. I've got a bit of vested interest in this one, which I'll explain tomorrow. So in the meantime, have yourselves a good day, and hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a delve back in history. Join me tomorrow for part 2, and any questions, comments or statements, leave it in the old squid pit of doom below in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, and have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. See you later.